reads 1 to 3 dozen books a year. He has a broad range of genres that he enjoys, including classics, sci-fi, dystopias, westerns, historical fictions, history, spirituality, etc. Some of his favorite authors include Victor Hugo, Charles Dickens, Ted Dekker, C.S. Lewis, J.R.R. Tolkien, Orson Scott Card, Louis L'Amour, Malcolm Gladwell, and Jack London. Today, he's working on Project 1 in the Interpretive Reading Manual. He's working on his second Advanced Communicator Bronze Award. The assignment is to read a story and understand the elements of interpretive reading. Learn how to analyze a narrative and plan for effective interpretation, and to learn and apply vocal techniques that will aid in the effectiveness of reading. The reading is, I think we'll stick with 8 to 10 minutes, and we'll begin with an introduction of the author and work that Jon has chosen. Let's welcome Jon.
Jon, before you start, what's the timing of this? How do I time this?
It is an 8 to 10 minute speech, but I can squeeze it to 6 to 8. So there's 6, 7, 8.
Okay.
As Annette mentioned, I have a lot of variety in the types of genre that I enjoy, but the one that I've enjoyed the longest is picture books. And who better to write picture books than Theodore Geisel, aka Dr. Seuss. Dr. Seuss died in 1991, and after his death, his wife was going through his studio. She found some of his projects, and she stashed them away. And it wasn't until recently that Dr. Seuss's longtime secretary and a longtime friend were rummaging through some of these materials, and they found a book project that was all but complete. And just this year, over 20 years later, or actually 30 years later, a fresh Dr. Seuss book has been published. And Dr. Seuss would take elements of one of his projects, and oftentimes he would use them in another project. If you're familiar with Dr. Seuss, you are very much aware of the goldfish. The goldfish shows up in a lot of his works. In this particular work, there's 2 children, a brother and a sister, that he uses in One Fish, Blue Fish. And they are the main characters in this book. And this was written, they guess, a little bit after One Fish, Two Fish, around 1960. Actually, that's over 50 years ago. The book's entitled, What Pet Should I Get?
That's so cute.
We want a pet. We want a pet. What kind of pet should we get? Dad said we could have one. Dad said he would pay. I went to the pet shop. I went there with Kay. So we went in. I took one fast look. I saw a fine dog who shook hands, so we shook. I said, I want him. But then Kay saw a cat. She gave it a pat, and she said, I want that. Then Kay said, now what do you think we should do? Dad said to pick one. We cannot take home 2. Then what do you know? We saw 2 other kinds. Now how could Kay and I make up our minds? A pup and a kitten. They look like good fun. Now, which would we pick? We can only pick one. Make up your mind! The cat or the dog? The kitten? The pup? Oh boy, it is something to make a mind up. Then I looked all around. I saw something with wings. I said, look at him! We can pick one that sings. then? "Look over there," said my sister Kate. "We can go home with the rabbit today." Then I looked at Kay. I said, "What will we do? I like all the pets that I see. So do you. We have to pick one pet and pick it out soon. You know, Mother told us to be back by noon." And I could have done it. I could have, Bet. I could have said what pet we should get. But you know what Kay did? Do you know what she did? She said, "Fish, fish, fish, fish. There may be a fish as the pet that we wish." Then I saw a new kind, and they were good too. How could I pick one? Now what should we do? We could only pick one. That is what my dad said. But how could I make up that mind in my head? Make up your mind! Pick a pet fast, pick out one soon. Mother and Dad said to be home by noon. The time may be now to make up my mind, but who knows what other good pets I might find. I might find a new one, a fast kind of thing, who would fly around my head on a ring on a string. Yes, that would be fun. But our house is so small. This thing on a string would bump into the wall. My mother, I know, would not like that at all. So, maybe some other good kind of pet. Another kind maybe is what we should get. We might find a new kind, a pet who is tall. A tall pet who fits in a space that is small. My mother might like this pet best of all. If we had a big tent, then we would be able to take home a yint. Dad would like us to have a good yint. But how do I know he would pay for the tent? So you see how it is when you pick out a pet, how you can make up your mind what to get. But what if we took one of each kind of pet? Then our house would be full of the pets we would get. No, Dad would be mad. We can only have one. If we do not choose, we will end up with none. I will do it right now. I will do it, I said. I will make up the mind that is up in my head. The dog, or the rabbit, the fish, or the cat. I picked one out fast. And then that was that. Not a Toastmaster.
Thank you, John, and don't forget to write John.